At least 90% of Ugandan smallholder farmers do not use quality agriculture inputs like improved seeds, planting materials, fertilizers, pesticides and insecticides in their farming, leading to low productivity. The informal sector accounts for 87% of agriculture input markets, and there is a wide spread of counterfeit seeds in Uganda, a factor that has reduced farmers' confidence in inputs on the market. Through a market facilitation approach, Feed the Future Uganda Agricultural Inputs activity works with market actors to develop and strengthen relationships and connections among the actors so that business transactions happen based on trust and informed decision-making. To encourage agro-input businesses make smart business decisions, Uganda Seed Trade Association, together with Feed the Future Agriculture Inputs activity, have brought together top seed supplier companies from Uganda to participate in a 2-day business acumen training.
Feed the Future Agricultural Inputs activity is very pleased to collaborate with USTA in bringing this training to the seed companies here in Uganda, and we're very, very pleased with the response that we got. To get senior managers, CEOs and finance managers from 10 seed companies in one room is not an easy task. And we're seriously hoping that this 2-day workshop will be a kickoff process that's going to initiate some new thinking. Finance in Action 54.
Participants were divided into groups that become virtual companies. Through a business simulation game board, each company works to improve their competitiveness and gain an edge over the competition.
You had 5? Yes. Okay, and you had 3. Okay, so
this business acumen seminar uses an interactive business simulation in which participants visualize corporate financial information.
Congratulations, achievers.
It is an innovative financial training that gives employees the techniques they need to become more productive and responsive members of their corporate teams. With income and outcome, participants become executives, teams become corporate giants, and the classroom becomes an entire industry. This is an ideal environment for learning.
The reason why we like this approach to training is people learn best, first when they do, and secondly when they get to experience emotion as they learn. Now the way the simulation is set up, it's like a game, but at the same time it's a business. So the people get to play, but also they compete and they experience joy and sadness and they get very competitive, but at the same time we get to review the learnings after every business cycle. So it ends up being like a fun thing that they do over 2 days, and throughout the period they keep getting these moments where they learn and they get practical tools that they take back to the organization.
I think as an adult learning technique, experiential learning is far and away more fun, number one, but better in terms of the ability of the participants to immediately apply what they've done here to their day-to-day work. And that's what we're hoping to really see happen, is that the seed company managers that are here will be able to take this back next week and immediately start applying these financial management principles to their company's operations.
Everything has an application on the game board entity and is directly transferable to the real world.
On the board itself, you can see the company in action. So when these people go back to their companies and they are given financial statements in their written form, they can actually relate it to what they saw in the board game, and the lessons stick better.
We got practical skills for day-to-day decisions, and normally such training we are given PowerPoint presentation by financial experts, by consultants, but it's really wonderful that in this case we were given a practical session of what are the day-to-day decisions you can make as a business leader in a competitive market.
And what we've learned today actually is what usually goes on in the companies. Sometimes we outcompete each other, sometimes we have price wars, mainly because we do not have the understandings of how to manage our businesses very well financially. So I think this training is going to equip our members to be able to make solid financial decisions without necessarily pushing out others out of the market, but for everybody to have a piece of the market share and then remain sustainable for a longer time.
We really have negative cash flows in the seed sector because the cycle is about 6 months before from production of seed to the sale of seed. So this gives you an insight into how to try and manage cash and probably when to borrow, okay, and probably where to borrow.
You have a problem, eh?
It increases business acumen in individuals and groups. Income and Outcome is a board game simulation of a manufacturing company. It includes all the excitement and hustle of running a business.
Equity partner, so we didn't sell. Out of desperation.
There is an industry with competitors and a marketplace with potential customers.
Oils for this market. And I'll start with order number 901. 6 bids for cash.
They have an opportunity to expand capacity and reduce costs. They have the joy of watching financial statements emerge as simple graphic reflections of their business reality. The facilitator leads them through the first few operating cycles. They see how money moves within the business while learning to run the simulation. Thereafter, the group becomes the management team and they are responsible for the results. At the end of the month, they calculate the income statement and balance sheet. Is it the price that is the ultimate king on the game board? Would you rather sell for less and capture a bigger market share, even where the market is willing to pay more? Or would the quality tag do the trick? Does it pay to remain small but profitable? Or would one rather ambitiously expand to capture a wider market and draft the competition? Is it prudent to seek financing in form of a loan? Or is it better to woo an equity partner?
It's a real life experience from what happened in my company. At one time, when you are expanding, then you find that you are so stretched financially. So either you get a very long-term finance or you get an equity partner. And then you also know when you have expanded, then your capacity is more, your cost is lower, you can afford to bid lower. So it was quite hands-on to me.
The 11th month in this virtual trading year is the defining moment for each company as they look at their balance sheet. The clear winners emerge.
What was amazing was that, first of all, no business ran out of money totally. Other trainings we've had government coming in to bail out the businesses, but this one, everyone remained at least cash flow positive. People were able to recover from extreme losses the first 2 months that they were on their own into profitability. We saw that the teams were rather conservative, especially in the pricing. But then when we learned the realities of the Ugandan market, we realized that price is actually the one thing that they win at. That's why everyone wanted to bid very low. And also the other thing we noticed is that they are conservative on financing. And then we inquired, we realized the cost of financing is very high in the market. So maybe if I got the feeling that if they got access to alternative forms of financing, not just bank loans, they would be a lot more adventurous and a lot more enterprising.
However, at the end of the workshop, every participant is a winner and certainly has ideas to take away with them. They will be able to communicate a common language of finance. They will gain an enhanced way of seeing the interconnectedness of business ideas and concepts. And they learn that their decisions impact all other departments. This should allow better decision making by anticipating the impact more accurately.
Ultimately, making these companies more robust within the seed sector, we're hoping will allow for a more competitive market overall that then will lead to better adoption of higher quality seeds among the Ugandan farmers, which then contributes to better productivity, better yields, and better economic growth for Uganda. And we're hoping that this is one more small step forward in that process.
Our hope is to work together with you to increase not only the quantity of seed available on the Ugandan market, but also, most importantly, the quality of the seed that actually reaches from the seed companies down to the hands of the farmers. In Uganda, we've significantly lost the farmers' trust, not necessarily because of the actions of the seed companies themselves, but because the whole system is broken. We have so much leakage of counterfeit seeds in Uganda that the farmer feels like they're gambling when they buy seeds. And that's very unfortunate, because some of you are really producing quality products that could significantly increase production in Uganda. And so what we want to see is a partnership with you to see how we can convince the farmers over the next 2 years that they have quality seeds available and to significantly increase the demand and the price that they're willing to pay for those quality seeds.